this is for Eclipse Magazine. Can you introduce yourself to our wonderful audience?
Sure. I am Aaron McPherson, and I'm acting in Seth MacFarlane's A Million Ways to Die in the West, playing Ben, one of the bad guys with Liam Neeson, and I'm also Seth's acting coach.
Wow. Well, let's start off with the film first, and then we'll go more into you being Seth's acting coach. I've seen all the posters all around LA. This looks really exciting. I love all the humor in every poster that I see. And just, can you tell us more about the plot?
Yeah, absolutely. It's well, Seth likes to poke fun at us when we take ourselves too seriously. So, in that vein, we've romanticized the West, and so the West was actually a really harsh time to grow up. When we're expanding to the West, so. It's him poking fun at that, but in its essence, it's a love story. But Seth is the heart of the movie, and I teased him about it when we first started working on it. And I said, "You softy," when he first came in to coach, and he said, "What?" And I said, you're a romantic. You wrote a romance." He's like, "Shut up." But so it's kind of fish out of water. Seth's character is someone that doesn't really fit in his environment of this old West, and Liam Neeson is the bad guy and brings a lot of gravitas. So there's like this real he was really created this real gritty Western, and then he has these himself and Giovanni Ribisi running around poking fun at it, and I think he's really able to achieve to create both worlds really well.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Tell us about the role that you're playing, your character, and how you got involved in it.
Well, the role I'm playing is Ben,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in the gang with Liam Neeson, who plays Clinch. And we ride into town, we're strangers, and they're trying to figure out who we are. And Clinch's wife ends up, meeting Seth, and she sees what life could be outside of being on the wrong side of the law, and he sees what his life could be if he found true love, and it kind of goes from there. And we have lots of cool chase scenes on horseback and chasing trains and whatnot. And I got involved by just really a phone call. Seth's people called and said he wanted to talk, and we sat down and talked for a bit and hit it off. And then we worked on a few things before this, and then he decided he's going to be doing this movie, and so we broke down the script and worked on it before we left, and then of course on set we just bounced things off each other and helped in any way I could.
So going back to Seth, now I know you've worked with him as a coach.
Yeah.
How did you and him end up in the coaching relationship?
Seth was stepping in front of the camera for the first time in a really big way,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Seth's wanted to cover all of his bases, and the great thing about Seth too is that he cares and he strives to be the absolute best he can be. So we put together a team, and I was part of that team as far as helping him step in front of the camera. I mean, we all know what a great voiceover artist Seth is, and what a great singer he is, and a comedian and host. And but this is a little bit different. It's a little more particular, right? And so we addressed that. We worked a lot with his physicality. How does Albert move through the world? Behavior, intention, point of view, things like that. And Seth was like a duck to water. I mean, by the end of the movie, you just saw. I mean, his learning curve is so fast. You just saw it just happened right there in front of you. And the other thing I want to say is that he was just so open to what do you think? Tell me what you got. There wasn't any drama about it. Seth was just he's just a worker, and on top of it, he's talented. So those two things combined makes my job a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, no, Seth is amazingly talented. I mean, just what you said, voiceover, acting, singing, everything. And plus he also wrote a lot this film that we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, he wrote it with his two writing partners, Alex Sulkin and Wesley Wild, and they're a good team. So.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been working with Seth? Because I know you coached him for years.
Mm-hmm. well, like I said, we've been working on it a bit before this, and for a while now, you know, and it's just kind of evolved, you know, by project kind of basis, you know. So.
And you've worked with other celebrities as well, because I know you do a lot of coaching. That's the thing you've been doing for quite a while. So, any interesting stories coaching Seth or any other people that we know of?
Ones I can talk about?
Secret!
Ones I can talk about? Well, one with Seth, which I loved, was, well, two with Seth specifically. One was late night, we were filming on the prairie, and it was like 3 a.m., and you know, we're getting kind of punchy, and I leaned over to him and I said, hey, you know I bought a horse. He goes, shut the fuck up. I probably shouldn't say it, but shut the F up. And I'm like, fine. So about an hour later, I saddled up my horse and I rode him into Video Village, and he just started laughing. So I did buy a horse on set, Whiskey, a really cool horse. And the second one with Seth was, there's a scene in the movie where Seth's leaving and he's packing his bags to go, and it's a scene with Charlize, and he has to talk about how he's been hurt, you know, and that he keeps trusting people and they keep letting him down. And I just thought Seth really delivered, so much so that Charlize even was watching it and was like, what was that? I want to reshoot my side, you know. And so as a coach, I was really pleased with how well he did. So yeah. The only other one I can tell you is I was coaching Dolph Lundgren one time, and we're in he doesn't like to stay in hotels, he likes to stay in apartments. So we're in this apartment and we're working on this movie, and he has this big Shakespearean monologue, and we're doing it, and it's just not coming the way we want. And so finally I'm like, come on, wrestle me and say the monologue. So here I am with Dolph, who's 6'4" and built like an Adonis, right? And he and I are wrestling in this apartment while he's doing this monologue, and the doors are wide. He's in Louisiana. The doors are wide open. The windows are open. People are walking by, and it either sounded like I was being killed or possibly, you know, abused sexually.
Oh my God!
So, but he did great too. So it was worth the fight.
Oh, that is so funny. So you're talking about horses. Now in the film, there's horses. So you ride the horses and you do your own stunts and all of that. So you don't have like a stunt double or anything.
I did have a stunt double.
Oh, okay.
And we all did, because these guys, I mean, they went full out on these horses, full out. And we did chase a train, and we were on the horses when the train was going. It's one of those old steam ones, and the whistles are going and stuff, and the train goes by, and we have to ride go across the tracks. And we get stopped by it, and the horses aren't used to seeing that, right? The old steam engines and the whistles, and they got a little freaked. But on top of it, these guys, the wranglers, who Clay Lilly and his gang, that's the head wrangler, great guys, and you really needed professionals because they're hauling ass across the desert on these horses, and there's gopher holes to look out for, and loose barbed wire, and all kinds of things that could happen. But we did do a lot of the riding. We did a lot and one day I remember in particular I spent 12 hours on a horse. We did not get off, and never thought that would happen. I was pretty broken after that.
Things we do for our art,
right? Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And how did it feel going from being an acting coach to being actually a part of your students' cast? Was that a unique transition?
I've done it a couple times before. It's kind of a happy marriage. That I'm an acting coach that also still acts. It also keeps me honest. You know what I mean? As an acting coach, because it's easier to sit in this chair and say you need to do this, this, and this, and this. But then to have it flipped on myself and I have to go do it myself, you realize and you stay sensitive to the vulnerability of putting yourself out there, right? And I don't take it for granted, ever. So I really like the way it's turned out for me, that I still act and also coach. You know, Uta Hagen did the same thing. A few acting coaches have done this, and I think it's healthy. So.
Yeah, and you studied with Larry Moss.
I do, yeah. I did, and I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Larry's the one that kind of got me into coaching, and well, he definitely did.
Yeah.
And he and I actually are doing a play this summer by Neil LaBute. It's the LA premiere of In a Dark, Dark House. Larry's directing, and it's something we've always wanted to do. And we've worked together for over 20 years now, so it's a great cherry on top for our friendship and working relationship. But yeah, I've stayed with Larry for quite a long time, and my wife and I joke, the only person who's taken more acting classes in this town than she has is me. But Larry's the one that he's made the most sense to me, and he's you know my cornerstone of what I teach, and yeah, he's been a good inspiration to me.
And I read that I read a quote somewhere that you don't when you coach, it's not specifically one method, but it's based more on the actor themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense, right? I mean, every actor is different, every person is different, and I don't want to try to put, you know, a square peg into a round hole, and you have to be sensitive to who you're working with, you know? I'm not going to play a violin the way I play a guitar or a drum, and it's one thing I think I picked up innately from Larry, was watching him work with people and understanding when people can take the note and when they can't, and when they need to hear something and when they don't. And so, yeah, I try to be very sensitive to who I'm working with and what they're giving back to me. And it's, you know, it also keeps it interesting. I'm not just teaching out of a book. It's very interactive, and it's very close, and it's very vulnerable. We share things, you know, with all my clients that, you know, because it's such a personal journey, you know, to create a character. And so I try to honor that and respect that and support that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And yeah, the fact that you're able to work on this film that's coming up with Seth, one of your students, that must be an amazing opportunity and just a lot of fun for you.
Yeah. It's a blast, and it says a lot about Seth.
Yeah.
He's very supportive himself, and I've seen him give hands up to people all the time, and he really lets people do their job. You know, if you're the cameraman or the DP or script supervisor or whatever it might be, it's just like, that's your job, and I depend on you for that. And he's definitely in control and overseeing everything, but he lets people have the space to do their job. It's not a power thing with him, which is refreshing. So
yeah, I mean, it's not, everybody works as a team to make one collective film.
Well, right, you get the best result that way.
Absolutely.
You empower people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. I'm really excited to see this film.
Me
and
too.
We're all excited. This is going to be really, really funny. I mean, with you in it, Seth, and the whole cast. We've got Charlize Theron and just a whole bunch of people in it. Exactly. A lot of people. Yeah. Exactly. And it's going to be opening in
May 30th.
May 30th. Okay, so coming close.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, just around the corner. Really excited. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.